Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Kirby and this is a week in the life of a mobile mechanic. And I know some of you have been missing the weekly vlogs, so here it is. And also, as of probably this week, I know there's a lot of you that watch Ashville weekly and that is no more. So I'm here to fill the gaps. And for all those Ashville fans, it's Monday morning and I'm in the van. So yeah, sit back, enjoy what I've got in store for the week. And long-time subscribers, you'll know I tried to fit in the weekly videos, but for one of the reasons why Ashville has stopped doing his videos is because it takes up so much time. So this is going to be a weekly vlog every Sunday, and it's going to be a bit more of a rougher cut. So I'll try not to go too heavy on the editing. Because I don't know about a lot of you guys that watch YouTube, because I sit there and I watch YouTube every night. And the editing that goes on in some videos, it's like, slow down. Just slow down. We don't need all these cuts and jumps every 2 seconds. So anyway, we will see you at the first job. Right, first job of the day is this Citroen Relay, or Fiat, based on the Citroen Relay anyway. I've got a service on it, but also the door is coming up with not being recognised, basically being closed, one of the side doors or the back doors. Now I figured it's the side door, and it's this little piece here in the middle. It presses up against the micro switch on the side door, so I'm just seeing why that isn't working. It's basically on some springs. That pushes it out, or it should push it out far enough. Right, all I've done is tie the tiniest of cable ties up behind that, you can see. So it's always in its out position. Right, let's go put this back together and test it. So that's where it sits, just in the door. And if you come round, this is the contact switch. It does look a little bit, no, this is alright. So yeah, that is the switch. So lateral door, if I press it in, it will say it's closed. And before, when I was closing the door, it wasn't closing on here. So let's close the door. So it's closed now. Right, so that job's out of the way. After that quick bit of diagnostic work, I just carried out a little service, oil change. As you can see here, oil filter's in a bit of a weird location, gets all over the drive shaft when you take the oil filter out, and had a bit of a leak. I don't know if I've caught it on camera, but there was a missing bolt going up towards the turbo from the boost pipe, so I put a new bolt in that. He had a speed limiter on there as well, because I think it used to be an enterprise van, so I took that off. So not that he goes over 70 of course, but just in case. Hopefully my little semi-permanent bodge has worked on the sliding door, so the warning light doesn't just keep going off all the time. Yeah, that's it for the mechanical work for today, because I've got the dentist. I've got a little fill-in, my railings all sorted out. So whilst I'm waiting in the car park, I'm just trying to do a bit of admin. So trying to get used to this system called TechMan. So a lot of mechanics or garages, if you're watching this, you'll know what I mean. I did get TechMan out last year. I barely used it. It was so complicated and there's so much to it. It's very clever, but for what I need it for, I needed it to be a lot simpler. So I've started trying to get used to that, trying to invoice on that, trying to keep everything together. Running through, my phone hasn't stopped all morning, so I'm just trying to go through messages, quotes. Yeah, that's all part of being self-employed. You've got to get on with the work. I enjoy it to some extent, and I'm able to take afternoons off to come get my teeth done, so my turkey teeth. Unless something comes through nice and easy by the end of the day, that's it for Monday. It's Tuesday morning, welcome back. And today We're on this VW Crafter, the scaffold van. Long-time subscribers will recognise this van. I put about 5 starter motors on it. It had an oil leak going down onto the starter motor, and I put probably about, more realistically, 3 starter motors on it. And I said to him, I think the cause is the flywheel. It went again. I put another starter motor on, and then in the end he bit the bullet to get the flywheel done and the clutch. So that was done ages ago. I haven't had a starter motor problem yet. Done a few bits on this van anyway. But last week he had a DPF issue, or actually he's had one warning light on the dash for some time, and he's just been driving it around in limp mode. The DPF got so blocked up. I tried cleaning it. It brought it down to an acceptable level, but I think there was too much ash in the system, so I had to take it off, take it to a company, get it flushed backwards. And then there was also fault codes for these little auxiliary water pumps. And I was only a fault for one, but I usually do these in pairs because they're both quite common to go, and they look the same, but they are slightly different where the pins are. One's a 2-pin, one's a 3-pin. We're going to get those swapped out, but I'm currently hiding in my van. Got my waterproof on. It's a little bit wet, but let's get cracking. I'll show you where they are. Right, so one of them is underneath this airbox, just at the back there. See that there? And the other one is down by the radiator. The van needs to go back on the road because I can smell this clutch, and this clutch has been burnt up from where it's in limp mode and going up hills, I think, so that's not good. Right, let's get these out. Right, all I've done is just clamp off each hose, take these clips out, try and lose as little coolant as possible. I've just got that first pipe off, and look how rusty it looks in there. That's not a good sign, is it? The easy one done, and then this one's just a little bit more tricky, so I've taken the coolant bottle out of the way, held this hose out of the way, and it just sits just there. But on this side there's 3 Torx 10 bolts that you've got to take off. Hopefully now no lights. Right, that's all done, all back to full power, no warning lights, no fault codes. Right, on to a Ford Ranger now for a bit of diagnosis, and apparently this cut out. I don't know if it was on the motorway but somewhere it cut out, and she had to have it towed back home. So I think, possibly, I don't know, could be a wet belt issue, but we're about to find out. Right, we are with this Ford Ranger now. Got the computer on. So lost communication, too low brake assist vacuum. I think that's going to be clogged up. This is the one I was looking for. Camshaft position, a circuit range performance fault. I think this is going to be a wet belt gone. And she said it just kept on cranking over. So, don't know if you'll be able to see down there. See that little bit in the corner there? And there is actually a lot of pieces missing off of that belt. Right, well, so what do we know? We know it doesn't start, it turns over, the belt turns, and you can see all bits of belt, even in the oil cap. I was going to take the vacuum pump off, but what's the point? So we know the belt's gone. It sounded like it had good compression. Obviously that needs testing. The injectors need taking out and a compression test being done properly. And this is admittedly the downfall to having a mobile mechanic out to you. So that job, for example, needs a wet belt and various other stuff. It needs further diagnosis. It is doable on a driveway, mobile, whatever you want to call it. You know, some jobs really shouldn't be taken out mobile, you know, big work. You know, I have got a workshop that I can get it towed to. So this is the damn problem. If if it was to go into a garage, at least it's there. They can get authorization to start stripping it down. I didn't want to start stripping it down. One, because, you know, it's a big job. It's multiple thousands of pounds to put right, potentially. I might not get the job once I've stripped that down. I might quote her for the repair, and then she's either A, stuck with me because she's spent money with me, or she takes it to another garage and it comes in and it's all been stripped down. Nobody likes that as a garage or a mechanic. I said to her, look, we know it needs a timing belt at the very least, vacuum pump possibly, cams, cam box. I'll quote her up. Best case scenario, worst case scenario. If you want, we'll get it recovered to my unit and can start stripping it down. So yeah, definitely not the news she wanted. I think she's a clever cookie. She sort of half expected it. It was on 65,000 miles. It's had its regular intervaled servicing. Now, whether that's the Ford 20,000 or 10,000, I don't know. I didn't actually ask, but she said it was due to go into the garage for a service Thursday, and this died on last Thursday, Wednesday. It's now Tuesday. Not that an oil change would have helped it, to be honest. All those bits would have broken up, blocked the drain, the strainer at the bottom, vacuum pump. It's potentially saved the garage the hassle of changing the oil and then the belt going. You know, it's a difficult conversation to have, although it wouldn't be any fault of the garage. But yeah, on to the next one. We've also got another Ford Transit custom for service and a wet belt and a noise coming from the engine area, he said. It's already had a wet belt not that long ago. Right, so we're just finishing up on this service. We're listening for a noise, but as of yet, I can't hear a noise anywhere. Gonna rev it up. Turn the steering wheel. There's no noise whatsoever. It's Wednesday, and I've already got the first car up in the air. We'll be fitting a starter motor to this on customer's request. It just wouldn't start one day at his work address. Ooh, it's raining. Car did start when I got here just the once, and then it just, done nothing. So we're going to get that on, but first we've got to get these silly under trays off with about 1 billion 8mm nuts under there, and then we will take it from there and see how easy these are to get to, because I've not done one of these little engine ones. Alright, this might be actually quite an easy one. So underneath the car, right, so underneath, and if we come up here, it's sitting just here underneath this cover. So by the looks of it, take this little cross brace off, take this cover off. There's quite a bit of oil under here, so I'm imagining oil is getting all onto this starter motor. I've just disconnected the battery, totally forgot about that before I take that big power cable off, but just chucking it down. And I did leave my camera under the car. Just zoom in. Don't know if you can see that big puddle of water dripping there. That's exactly where I left it. So I quickly jumped out and saved my camera from another fatal accident. I've got used to this good weather. Don't like this rain anymore. Right, let's crack on because it's an easy one and I'm under the car. And I've got another job after this, which is quite a lot of work. So, I don't know if you can see me right now, but I'm huddled under the car, keeping dry. Let's get this done. Look as I start to undo the bolts. Oil dripping from the bolts, that's not a good sign. One start motor fitted, everything back in its place. Let's go see if it starts. Right, battery connected. Right, let's try and get it started. That's not cured it. So there are faults. I thought I was just recording them, but basically I had to start motor faults. So I'm just going to try and clear them off now. Right, fault code's gone. Let's see. Nothing still. Ew. Starter fault. Fuses. Oh dear. Okay, so I've found this in a menu. Starter counter overview. The starter counter must be reset after replacing the starter. Number of engine starts carried out. Number of early performed engine starts. Early engine starts are starts which are performed while the engine is still shutting off. The starting operation becomes shorter as a result. Okay, so yes, as reset, continue. No way is this going to start. Still not going to start. Now I checked the starter motor, the new one that's on there, put power to the igniter wire, and it turns over, it starts. I've got power at the big cable. A bit more digging. Oh, what a palaver. So that 1 Series, obviously put the starter motor in at the customer's request. First mistake. But I thought it's right there, nice and easy. I'll bang that in. Obviously wouldn't start, reset everything, still won't start. Had a look at, well, I actually got it to turn over by powering up the igniter wire, but it wouldn't fire, even with the ignition on. I didn't have the clutch pedal down. Maybe that might have been a thing, but anyway, it would turn over and not fire. So I had a look at the wiring diagram, and it seems that it is controlled by the engine ECU or the CAS unit. I couldn't quite decipher from my Haynes Pro, but it said engine ECU, but then there was a fault in the CAS unit. So another one I've got to go back to. Yeah, very annoying. And that's pushed me way back. It was meant to be in and out Bosch. So I've just had a naughty McDonald's. Oh, didn't want that. This is the car trade though for you. But anyway, on to the next one. Got quite a bit of work on this one. 2 top mounts and bearings, lower arm drop links, front pads and discs. I've already been there last week to replace the other lower arm and a track rod end. Oh, I've got D-bushes as well, anti-roll bar D-bushes. So we've got quite a bit of work. Alright, we've got one side jacked up. So on this, we have already been back. We've done the track rod end and the inner last week because that was knocking itself to bits. And then we've got these lower arms to do. We've got drop links to do. Let's play in those. The top mounts are making a horrendous noise. So we've got both of those to do. We've got pads and discs to do. The other side's a lot worse than this, but yeah, so what I'm going to do, get this shock out, then get the hub out of the way, I think. Or should I get that out first? I might get that lower arm out first, just in case it's a little bit tough to come out. Then I've got some support with that in a way, but I'll get the caliper and the discs off out of the way first. Right, I thought I'd go down a slightly different route because last time I done the lower arm on the other side, it took ages to get this nut off. So I'm going to take the drive shaft out, take the knuckle out, and then I thought, yeah, I can just do it that way. I'll just disconnect the ABS sensor from the other side. Look what I found. Some bodgery. So yeah, that's a shame. But yeah, so if I take the complete knuckle off, if I undo these nuts here, and then once it's out, I can get to that a lot easier and obviously knock that out as well. Alright, there we go. That's a few bits out. Took the hub or the knuckle out all as one, which was actually surprisingly easy. Shock's ready to come out. The drive shaft and the caliper's just been held up there. I'm going to get the shock out the way, and then I can get to that bolt easier, and that bolt easier, and also the inside of the drop link there. Alright, that's the shock out. Bearing, not too bad to be honest, but if you look, I don't know if you pick it up on camera, there's a bit of play there. You can see where it's been wearing away this rubber. So that's the noise. Let's get this swapped out. Right, for these, to get this off, I've already loosened that up, and I haven't compressed it. Now I might be playing with my life a little bit here, but I don't think you have to. Oh, look at that bearing. Okay, yeah, that is not very good. Make sure you get it the right way up on these, because you'll see there is that end and that end is flat. So wash that back on, wash that back on. Nice. This just sums up how this job has gone. This side I've taken off and I can't get that on. It has sprung up more this side. What a day. A few hurdles to jump over. Got all the work I needed to complete on that Renault Traffic. Apart from the anti-roll bar debushes, which I didn't mention to you guys, but I did need to do those. But yeah, what a kick in the teeth that wiring was that came off. I tried for about an hour to repair it basically, but where someone had obviously tried to repair it with that connector block, a household connector block, it was so far into the loom and up close to the plug that I couldn't strip any more wire back. I stripped a little bit back, and then it just fell to pieces. So I think where it's been open to the elements and just got corroded, it's no good. So I'm gonna have to go back and strip a load of bits down, take the plug out, maybe just strip the sheathing of the wiring loom back and do a proper repair. But I'll probably need that on my ramp, because I just couldn't contort myself in the right position. I'm no Russian ballerina, that's for sure. Yeah, a few hurdles, and that's what it's like running a business. It's not 100 meter hurdles, because it's more like a marathon with hurdles every, 50 meters. You think you're going well, you jump over a hurdle, over another one, and then all of a sudden your legs are caught up and you're falling on your face on the tarmac. I'm knackered. I'm home 20 to 7, and that is the end of Wednesday. See you tomorrow. It's Thursday and I can smell the weekend, because I'm pretty much almost done for the day already. I went quickly to a job this morning. Their puppy chewed through some airbag wiring under a seat, so I just went to reset that light. And then I've just been to this Renault Clio for rear pads and discs, and he did say he needed a caliper. Once I removed all the caliper carriers and the pads and pushed the piston back, it was absolutely fine. So he just got pads and discs on that. I was meant to do a service on it, but I forgot to pick up the filter. But that car's been sat there a long time, as you can see. So he's in no rush. And now I'm on my way home, because I've got a little Zoom meeting with a friend who's also a mobile mechanic for a potential business idea, which a lot of you watching, you should be interested in this. If you're a mechanic, if you've just started out, or you want to get started out, we are looking at a mentorship, helping people get started as a mobile mechanic, or even if you've just started or you've been in business a year and you want to grow. We're both in a position where we've done really well with our businesses and we think we can help others. So yeah, we're just gonna go and see if that makes sense. Got to run some numbers and things like that, but it's something I've wanted to do for a while. I get so many messages, emails, messages on Instagram from people saying, Kirby, how do I get started as a mobile mechanic? Where do I go? Like, all right, I need a van, but what else? How do you get work? How do you price jobs? This is all information, and unfortunately, I haven't been able to reply to everybody because it does take time. It's not a simple, go get a van, advertise here, and you'll be away. There's a lot more to it. So yeah, we're gonna go do that. And then that crafter from the other day that I did the 2 little auxiliary water pumps on, he said it was fine for a day and then the light's back on. So got to nip round there and have a look, see what's going on. Bloody cars, vans. I'm also going to be investing in some remap software. So, you do your stage 1, possibly stage 2 remaps. I know some people don't like calling them stages, but it is what it is. And then obviously your AdBlue solutions and your DPF solutions, EGR solutions. So yeah, that's something I want to get into as well. And if you're watching this and you're a mobile mechanic and you don't want to start off on your own, or you haven't got the money maybe to start off on your own, and you're in the High Wycombe or Aylesbury surrounding areas, give me a message because I'm hiring. No big jobs, no nasty jobs. Fast fit stuff mainly I want you to do. I'll do the other stuff. Depends on your capabilities and what you're happy with doing. Some people like doing clutches, some people like doing the bigger work. Good morning. It's Friday. It's nearly the weekend. And I've just been out to do some pads and discs, quite boring stuff on this very clean Vauxhall Mocha. The guy takes absolute pristine care of this thing. It's washed every weekend, old school, out there on a Sunday washing it every week without fail. Keeps up with all the maintenance, gets things done before they're meant to be done. For example, these pads and discs. The discs got a bit of a lip on them, and the pads weren't too bad, but they were getting a little bit low. So he said, yeah, get the fronts done. He already had the pads, front and rear pads, from about 1.5 years ago when he was using some other mobile mechanic. But the reason I've got him as a customer is because this other mobile mechanic, I think he was either too busy or something and didn't get back to him. I've bought the discs, which are correct, but he's got the wrong pads. They're just a slightly different shape. So yeah, luckily I'm not too far from GSF. So I'm gonna whip down there, get the right pads and get back. And if you guys want to go to GSF and get your car parts, go online, put in the discount code Kirby20 and you get 20% off as well. So yeah, yesterday I didn't get a chance to go back to that crafter because he went out in it, even though I went round his house. So yeah, and in my little Zoom with my mate for this mentoring thing we're going to try. So we're quite keen about this mentoring business, I guess, if you're going to call it. I think we can add a lot of value to a lot of people's lives, really. If you want to start up your own business, or you're already there and just need a little bit of a push. So if you're interested in this sort of thing, I'll leave my email in the description. So we're going to do a webinar. So just an introduction, what we can offer, and then you know, from that, if it all goes well, we'll go on to a day. We'll hire somewhere out and just go into a bit more detail, and then hopefully sign a few of you guys up. You know, lots of benefits to working yourself. Money, time, your own boss, not fighting over that Christmas break when you want time off. So yeah, anyway, let's get these pads, get them finished, and then we've got an alternator to do on a S-Max or something along them lines. All right, next job. We got this S-Max in for an alternator. I've already been here the other day to diagnose it. Get out the sun a bit. It was charging at about 12 volts or just below. Engine light, battery light is on. So, got a nice L stock. Battery's already disconnected. And I think the best way to get this out is going to be fuel filter housing out, and up there some bracketry. There's a possibility it might not fit out of that gap without taking the engine mount off. I'm not too sure. So we're going to start removing stuff and see where we get to. Right, I thought I'd show you every step of the way. So this cover is off, held on with these 3 bolts. Now electrical connectors, they've all been disconnected, so this housing's got to come out of the way. These little push clip things have got to come out, and the way you get them out, you raise this center bit. I probably ain't going to do this one-handed, but press that in a little bit, press that down, and it should come out if you've got 2 hands free. That's it. Fuel filter, fuel lines out the way. We've got a bolt here, you've got a bolt up there, and you've got one through there, and then if you come up through there, and you've got one on the side here. I'm hoping that is it, and that comes out. Bracket out. So yeah, it's sat that way, and there was this sensor of some sort. It was bolted to the side there, and it was that bottom one was quite difficult to get off. So these little studs go through here, and I just took those studs out. Gave me enough room just to wiggle the whole bracket that way and then get underneath, because it sort of goes down there in between there. So that's off. This little drain pipe goes to the underside over there, and now we can see the alternator. So all we've got to do is get that belt off. It should slide out of there. Famous last words. Bit tight, but should come out. Electrical connectors out, bolts out. Just got to hopefully give it a bit of a wiggle out, and it's not too stuck. Try and get under there. There we go. Oh, look at that. And then out of that gap again, need 2 hands, I think. Quick comparison, make sure everything's in the right place. Pulleys are the same, everything's the same. Good. First right first time. And there we are, everything back together, all routed back exactly where it came off. So, now if I remember rightly from when I serviced this, I thought I was going to have to get my battery back on. Trying to turn the ignition on. 1 second. Right, now the battery is connected again. I'm just going to cycle the ignition a few times, because I believe these do have a in-tank pump, where a lot of Fords don't, and you have to get a tool to pump up the fuel from the tank. But if I remember rightly, when I serviced this, I was shocked because I accidentally started it and it started up and I can hear the pump going. So let's just check for leaks whilst that's going. Right, let's go for the start. A little bit of a splutter, but we're running. No battery light. Got a new belt on there just for good practice. This one probably would have lasted a little while. It's showing a bit of age, but always good practice to put a new belt on. So let's get the multimeter out. Right, so earth over there. Get on the positive, 14.52. We get down here. Well, that is Friday and the week done. Went to the little van for a DPF issue and there was no point cleaning it, or we couldn't even get it started. The battery was just absolutely knackered. I think it's got a dead cell inside it. I didn't try too hard, to be honest, but the fault codes were for the additive tank, so Eloy's tank, so that needs a new one, or there is a company that can refurb them apparently, so I'm going to do a bit of digging around for that. And then I went to go back to the crafter, and that's got a glow plug control module fault, which is just a little relay basically. And that's it for the week. It's been a bit of a bitty week, shall we say. If you're here, like I said, from Ashville's videos, you never know. Have you enjoyed it? Has it quenched your thirst for an Ashville video? Just for now. Obviously, I've not got the team that he has, videographers, editors, and this is my first week of doing a weekly for a long time. So I hope you've all enjoyed it. I hope my regular subscribers have enjoyed it, because, you know, I'm sure a lot of you found my channel when I was doing the weekly vlogs. And yeah, let me know what you think. I've got more to come next week. Got a few interesting jobs next week. So yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget, comment, like and subscribe. Share it with a friend, and I'll see you on the next one.